Before we get into the newsroom by Stafro and SOSMA, I want us to look at something, right? You just made a good comparison, which Barrister Ford didn't make. Why Britain did what they did because of the same fear in comparison that America is having today or Russia is having. But we're talking about today. This is about 6 decades or 7 decades later. We are faced with an existential battle, and Cameroon has one chance only right now to negotiate with us or to fight to defeat us and conquer us, and it is done forever. And they are doing this is a psychological warfare. They are doing this on the media, manipulating our people to emotionally blackmail us so that we can stop this fight. It's quite challenging. So the way the current U.S. administration is conducting themselves, how I keep asking the same question, but you realize that every week comes and pass, and you ask a question: how do they look at us in the lens of their foreign policy right now? And if our situation is approached in like manner, what will we do? What will be our resolve? I'll take it with you first, Barrister Fu, before I say something.
Yes, Paddy. I didn't see it a necessity to compare the two. But now that you have brought it up, let me say this. If the same situation faces us, we are black people. We are used to suffering and fighting. We will not accept somebody to sit on a table and decide for us. And then come then and then tell us, okay, this is what I have decided. You will do this, you join La Republique, you do this and that. It will never happen. We will not accept. We rather go back. If they rather push us, we'll go back and fight to death than accept that kind of ultimatum that Ukraine is facing today. I have to be very clear. Let the message go. We will not accept anything that is negotiated behind our back and that results are brought to us that are not favorable. If you negotiate
Let
behind
me
our back and bring favorable results, fair and good. All we want is the independence and sovereignty of the Southern Cameroons as it then was. We were never a conquered people. There was no war 60 years, 65 years ago when La Republique invaded our territory. We have never joined La Republique for all I know. And for some people to go and sit somebody, be in a world power, go and sit behind and negotiate and say, okay, now you people must take federation or you people must join La Republique and so on and so forth. And we'll sit here and accept. I will be the last person to accept that. I better go and die in Southern Cameroon. I am taking my mind here. It cannot happen. I don't think Zelensky that I know is going to accept that kind of backdoor negotiation without Ukraine. Ukraine was not sitting on the table with Russia,
and just to
and
kind of kind of
if that happens
to
to
kind of
Southern
approach,
Cameroon,
yeah.
if that happens to Southern Cameroon, we will not accept. At least that's my position now, and I think my position is that of Dr. Sako because he has given it too much. All of us in the cabinet have given all our life too much. All of us in the struggle have given our life too much. All of us, right down to the LGAs and so on, everybody has suffered. We have lost more than 65,000 people. And for somebody to go and sit behind and negotiate on our behalf and come and rapping down on our throat when it's not in our favor, we will not accept. We would rather die all.
And you see, I suspect Cameroon is trying to enhance this kind of game because when you find them using failed lawyers and bandits like Ngalajera to go and kill their own people, and then to turn around to blame it on us, and then to use lawyers like Emmanuel Salah to come and manipulate those who are making mistakes here, taking money from Yaoundé to claim that they are pursuing bribing and paying huge sums of billions of taxpayers' monies to lobbyists. You understand that they are trying to get themselves close to that game. And this is where I bring it up to you, Commander Zama, because this is kind of critical. If we would even condescend to such an agreement where someone will sit somewhere to decide on our behalf, then the question would be, why did we even start fighting after 55 years? After 55 years of our forebears and some of our comrades who are still even alive today, like Professor Ayim, they have been trying for peaceful dialogue to resolve the problem. So if this comes at this time, because this war, people think the war has been 10 years. This war has been for 6 decades. When Ayijo invaded our territory, he killed some, manipulated some. On a smaller scale, when Bia did what he did in 1984, he manipulated some, killed for some. Von Goji was arrested when he protested against Cameroon's secession and change of name. That was when Von Goji was arrested. So the war didn't start today. Von Goji in the early 90s proposed when they had some of the conferences. He proposed and said, listen, guys, stop talking to these people. They're not sensible. You better pick up weapons. You need the armed struggle to get out of this quagmire. So, Comrade Zama, this is my question. I thought to give this background so that you can get it. What would be the need if we're being imposed or dictated upon in this manner?
I think the very essence of that question is: are we really fighting this war? That
Yeah.
question should be posed to those who are sitting on the wall, to those who are sitting on the fence, to those who are not involved in any manner. Because if we are 8 million of us, like they say, if everybody contributed the best to their ability to this war, La Republique will not be able to fight this war for more than another year. Um, but if we are imposed a settlement, yes, we can fight. But for how long? We cannot fight indefinitely. We will have to put every chips on or every hands on deck right now. Everybody has to do what they must do. I don't think those who are fighting for federation like the current dispensation in Cameroon. It's not favoring even the people of the ruling classes villages. They have horrible roads like everybody. They have horrible schools, horrible hospitals. It's a country that has been hijacked. It's a vassal state that is being ruled by principals representing other countries. So if it comes to a point where we are dictated what the terms is gonna be, we will fight. Yes, we will fight, but we have to make that not to happen now. To avoid that, we have to win the war now, rather than trying to wait for tomorrow. We have to do all the things we must do.
So
We have to put
what
every
we do
chips on the table.
today, what we do today is very instrumental. So by
Yes.
Sambesia, you got cut off at a point where you were giving a surgical analysis of the situation. And what you said was what ushered us into this conversation. I always, when I listen to these arguments, I see the way the global dynamics is changing, and I see the way the United States approaches situations in different countries, and even the way they are approaching the current elections, the outcome of the elections in Yaoundé, the situation of Issa Choroma. It begs the question: we are fighting a war. The United Congress has said this. Maybe the Trump administration might say this. The Trump during his first term did this. Maybe he might did this. Peradventure, we are caught up in a situation where somebody is claiming that they want peace and they are dictating things to us that would have made the 9 years or 10 years long war irrelevant, trying to superimpose us into a system that we don't want? Where do we go from there? So before you came back, that's how Barrister Fru and SOS Zama have been, that's what they've been tackling. Please talk to us very briefly so we can take some reports from the ground. We have three very important reports that we need to take so that we come back and extend the conversation. Please talk to us, Barrister Messiah.
Well, before we ask ourselves where are we going from here, we must understand where we're coming from. It appears that we don't understand our opponent, the Republic. What is the narrative under Bia or under Kamto or under Chiroma? That only one narrative to tell the world that there's one Cameroon, to tell the world that whatever is going here is our internal problem. We can resolve the issue. That is what they tell the world. They will not mention anywhere in a World Club, in the international community, that problem. No, they will not mention it. It's so different from, for example, Ukraine. And so the Cameroon narrative, the greatest enemies we have who are trying to underdo us, is not even Yaoundé. They are our own brothers. Call them federalists, call them chiefs, call them fonts, whatever name you give them. Those are the people who are the enemies of our struggle because they buy the narrative from Yaoundé. We're just one people. We're just having a small problem. We can solve it in the night. We can go to the National Dialogue and give you something. We can agree to give a federation under our own terms, keeping the minerals. It is a local problem for them. And so that is, nobody will impose the thing on us as long as we fight. And I believe, even though most of us are not contributing, most people agree with us that we have a right to what we are doing. And so as long as we persist, Cameroon under Chiroma, Cameroon under Kamto, Cameroon under Bia, or any other person there would not win that battle. Because that narrative has failed for the past 9 years. All marriages that divorce always start with an internal problem in the house. You did not give sword. You did not buy the woman clothes. She did not cook in time. It looks very domestic. But when it materializes and goes further and further, it becomes a marriage. It becomes irreparable. The woman leaves, or the husband says, I no longer need you. Other way, they will divorce. And so that is where we are. We should be concerned with our own brother, our own cousins, our own mothers who are selling us, who are buying the narrative of Yaoundé. They're just all. Are we gaining them? Of course we do. The problem we have is many people feel the pain of war. They never they never expected this thing to last for 5, 10 years. And so they are frustrated, they are tired, they are afraid that they kill somebody down street in Bamunda. Tomorrow will be up station, they will kill somebody. Might be my brother, might be my cousin, be my wife or child. That's just the problem. Fear, human fear. But I don't think the Federalists, for example, are going to impose their will on us. I don't think the Unionists have anything to say for this cause. So as our brother said, let's keep fighting. I think we're making our point. If someone had told Yaoundé or observers that will retain this strength for 9 years, they did not believe. When Paul Biya said in 2 weeks this thing will be over, he was not joking. He was really serious because he believed honestly that these 2 cubes of sugar cannot even sustain warm water. How much more of hot water? And so we are on track. Let us continue doing what we are doing. The international community is a very complicated community. It is not the time to analyze it. But I can just say one thing about it. The international community deals with interest. When the American embassy in Yaoundé, when the State Department writes, congratulations to Mr. Paul Biya for your swearing in. We have argued, we have debated, why not say for his winning the election? No, they're not interested in that. A swearing in, which took place almost a month after the elections. This man was sworn in. The international community, including the United States, they're interested in who is in control. The swearing in is a mark of control. For 3 weeks leading up to that, what was happening? What was Chiroma doing with his opposition?
What mark did he make on the system? He didn't make a lot of mark. And so the Americans say, well, we notice that you have a bad election, for example, but somebody is in control politically. Just like it could have been a coup d'etat. Coup d'etats are overthrown by violent methods. What do they do? The international community, different countries sit for a while to see who is the general who is emerging as a leader. Once that general emerges and takes control and there's no more violence in the streets, they recognize you. It doesn't mean that they loved coup d'etats. No, they simply recognize you. Now say you're in control. Since you're in control, we deal with you. Because that's where our interest is. American interest, British interest, French interest in doing
Yeah.
business, stealing money, whatever thing they want. And so,
Now, if I
as far as I'm
listen, if I listen to by some basis, I'm going to come back to you. If I listen to all of you, you're all saying almost the same thing. We, as
No,
Ambazonians, we need to keep our. We have to make sure that we have the stakes that can defend ourselves and we stand our ground. We are saying it differently,
buddy,
but we are all saying, yeah, Vice Fruit, chip in very briefly, please.
I don't know whether I understood your question. The question is if a solution is imposed on us which does
Yes.
not favor us, what do we do? I thought that was the question.
Yeah, the point is, if you look at it, Excellence
Was
Jamal,
that the question? Was
that
that
was
no? Answer me. Was that the question?
that's the question. That's the question.
If that was the question, then we had not. I didn't develop it. Let me tell you one thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, that's
All
true.
the federalists have, all the federalists and Churuma have caused a divide between the chiefs and Bia and the federalists and Churuma.
Yeah,
Just watch the online blockers. All of them are most of them are the federalists. The Mimi Mefo, the
yeah.
Eric Chinges, and what you know, what you
Rebecca,
most of what you see.
Kings.
Yes, but the question is if in the course of working diplomatically and doing what we're doing in the end, some superpower says you either take this or this. I think that is a very, very, very bad situation in which we'll find ourselves.
And I agree with
And
you
if it
on that.
happens,
I agree with that.
and if
no,
it
no,
happens,
no,
and if it happens, and if it happens, the question is, do we accept that kind of a thing rammed down our throat, or
No. We will reject
or
it.
we fight? Yes, reject and fight.
That's what Thomas said, and that's what Baristambesia said. Baristambesia is
well,
actually painting a picture of a
maybe,
lie.
just a second, it
Baristambesia,
might
just a
be,
moment. Baristambesia,
just
just a
might
moment.
be.
Just a moment. I'll give you the mic, please. Just a moment. From what Baristambesia is saying, Baristambesia is actually painting a picture that is very hopeful for the people. And this is the picture. The picture is that it is not even going to happen because of the strategies we are putting in place. Though the federalists are looking forward for us to be in that position, it will not happen. And then as Commander Zama is saying that we have to fight now so that we don't even let that situation come in place. So
As if we have not
if
been
I
fighting. As if we have
we
not been fighting.
have to keep on fighting, increase it, escalate it. That's what I'm saying. By Stambesi, I wanted to add something. Do it briefly so that we can take this report. By Stambesi, do you want to add something? Please do
No,
it briefly so we
I
can.
think, no, I think that if that was the question you asked, it was a wrong
Yes.
question. It was totally a
Okay.
wrong question. No foreign power, no France, no UK, no United States will impose a solution on us. Let us get this clear. The Federalists
Yes.
did not start to exist under Chiroma. The Federalists have been
Yes.
there ever. The Federalists and the Unionists have exhausted their limit. They were all
Yes.
participants in the 2019 Grand National Dialogue. That's what
Yes.
they got. And what they got has not satisfied us, which is why their principal supporter, Yaoundé, has been looking for a route out of it. Again, it will never be the same because we are different from Ukraine that we just analyzed. As long as they have not gone to the conference table and addressed the root causes of the problem and propose a solution coming from there that one of the international community will support or reject. No country will do that for us. Because whereas the US, as I just said in the last segment, can impose a solution on Ukraine because they give them arms, they give them support. They are, in fact, the war is being fought by the Americans and NATO. If they withdraw, Ukraine collapses. That's why Ukraine is saying that they are facing a difficult challenge of losing a great ally or accepting what does not belong to them. We are not getting arms from anywhere in the world, call it the United States, Britain, France, or anywhere. They are not funding us. If there's any support they give us, if at all, it's purely moral. They cannot use moral support to impose something on you because you lose nothing other than their moral support. And so the question, if that is what was intended, was wrongly formulated. It cannot happen in the case of Cameroon and Ambazonia. It
Uh,
Now,
cannot happen.
it can happen.
I ask some of these teasing. I'm asking some of these
It can
teasing
happen.
questions like this. Just a moment, Barrister Fu will come back to this. I'm asking some of these teasing questions because I think it's important for us to have the conversations with open face so that we can get our acts together and don't rely on our lorries or narrow our diplomacy. So I do this intentionally. This is a platform, the main platform that communicates about Ambazonia to the world. And our reflections are a kind of proxy advisory for the government. So why some of you are involved with diplomacy? We're going to come back, Barrister Fu. Let's get into the newsroom. We'll come back. Why some of you are involved in diplomacy? I think you people should sit down and have these firm discussions, not just on TV. When you get down in your think tank, make sure you think, talk, fight there, and come up with strategies. We'll be back with a
No,
discussion.
no, no,
Let's
no,
be
Paddy,
back.
Paddy, you are rushing. You are rushing. You are rushing. This
Okay.
is very important. Now
Yes,
listen very
please.
carefully. When I read when I read that congratulatory message from the U.S. embassy to buy beer,
Yeah.
and I also read what the Foreign Relations Committee chair of the Senate of the United States wrote about Cameroon.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
got me thinking as to what may happen to us.
Okay.
Let me be clear here. It would depend on interest. Does La Republique of Cameroon have more interest to offer the people that we think we are relying on
You have
and
now hit the nail. Yes, you have just touched the nail.
than
It will depend
us
on interest. It will depend on interest.
interest?
And that supports the point
So
of
no, let me
Commander
finish.
Zama.
Let me finish.
It,
Let me
it
finish.
supports the point
Let
of
me finish
Commander
to
Zama
say. Let
because
me finish that, buddy. Let me finish to say what the question that you pose, contrary to what Pastor Mbesa has said, it can happen. Depend upon interest. It depends upon
what I'm saying is that
transactional
I
principles.
agree.
What am I? What is these people offering me? What is this people offering me? And where is my interest?
Especially the new, especially the new administration that's transactionary. And this supports the
Yes.
point of Commander Zama that's saying that what we do today can properly position us for tomorrow. I agree with that. What we do today will properly position us. We should not lie on our laurels. We need to get into the boardroom and think this through.